go live. My doctor's office called because Diva has been down. I am dealing with, I guess I'm going to have a root canal. And so my mouth has been in pain for the past 2 weeks or so. But anyway, and that was the doctor's office to let me know. I went to the dentist on yesterday for an emergency review, and they are referring me out to another doctor's office. And based upon that referral, they were calling to give me the price point for one tooth. I'll tell you the truth. I said, man, you pay insurance and stuff all your life. And honestly, because I never go to the doctor, if I could have taken the money that I put into paying for insurance, insurance is really for in case something happens that you would have $100,000 to cover you. The thing is, people like me who never rarely ever get sick, we don't need it until we need it, right? But that's not what I came on to talk about today. For those of you that are joining in with me, and you are my regular crew, I thank you for joining. And I really wanted to come on and talk a little bit about some conversations that I've had with some guys. A couple of them are guys that I consider to be men who I think are good suitors. And then I want to talk about some that are just out here in the game and they just playing around. And I won't be long because guess what, y'all? It hurts to talk. I am fixing a sandwich for my son. Like I said, he's doing some homework. His team made it to the playoffs. And they have practice this afternoon, but he had senior reduction, so he was home. And I like to fix breakfast sandwiches for him because that's something that he likes. But I really kind of wanted to talk to the men today about reasonable expectations. And I was having a conversation with someone that I respect, and I think they respect me. And I think that, we were talking about the expectations of how men and women are treating one another today. How we have almost commercialized dating to the point that, and this is what I said to my friend, and you guys can join in and let me know if you believe it to be true. But I was telling him that we have basically almost prostitutionalized going out on a date to the point that a man feels like if he buys you a burger or a steak, that's a representation of him being able to have access to your body. And one of the things that I shared with this person is that's nothing but modern day prostitution. So have we gotten to a place where if a man is purchasing a item for you, that means that he automatically has sexual connection to you? Like, I'm really just having to think that through and what that looks like. Because for a woman like me, it's very insulting. And as I shared with this young man, if I'm completely honest, and you guys, I'm moving around because I'm cooking and I need a paper towel. But if I'm dating someone, when I say dating, in this dating world, you're just getting to know people. You don't know them. And so I think that it's a twofold. It's insulting for a woman to think that a man who has just met her for the very first time should take her to a restaurant where the meal is going to be $100. I say $100. That's on the low end. Some of these restaurants that they are choosing to go to, the meal would end up being $200 and $300. So why would you think that a regular, everyday working man, why would you think that he would be able to take you to a restaurant and pay $300 for a meal and it not result in something. I can't put that through my head. I can't even imagine $300 worth of food. And then if he allows you, thank you guys for the hearts and thank you for I see the comments coming through. What would make you think that it's okay if he gives you the choice to choose a restaurant? And one of the places that this young man mentioned to me, he talked about Capitol Grill. Capitol Grill is a high-end restaurant that's here in our city. And I've never been to Capitol Grill. I've never thought about going to Capitol Grill. I think recently my pastor took his wife there for their 18th wedding anniversary. So 18 years it took for them to go to this restaurant. Why would you think that a man who has never had any real relations with you would be taking you there and it would be okay? But then I want to flip it, men, because this is what I posed to my friend. I said, but the issue comes in is why would the man think that it was okay to take her there? Like if you already knew that that's a gold digging type mindset or thought process, see, why would you even follow through with that? You should have canceled that dinner or just not took her, period. I think that we have this mindset right now that it's like there was this movie, War of the Roses, where this couple was going through a divorce. And I think it was Michael Douglas and I can't remember the actress name, but Michael Douglas was the husband and Danny DeVito was I think he was their attorney or the therapist, but he was a friend of theirs. But I want to ask you guys, why would we think that it's okay? Ladies, why do you think that it is okay to ask a man to take you on a first date to a restaurant where it is a $200 or $300 meal? And then men, I would like to know, why do you feel compelled to take a woman on a date, a first date, where you are taking her to a restaurant that costs $200 or $300? As I shared with my friend, that's a problem on both sides. That's not a woman problem and that's not a man problem. He should check her in the place of saying, why would you think that I'm going to be taking you on a date like that and we just met? And she should be not asking for that type of date. I know that social media has told you all that, but the truth of the matter is the average person, I want y'all to just think about it now. A first date, and if you're going to go out 2 or 3 times a week with this guy, because that's the difference, is I look at it from a perspective of if I'm going out with him 2 or 3 times a week, you know, or if it's 1 or 2 times a week, why is it that you would believe that he's supposed to spend that kind of money? And then who actually has that? Let's just say if he took you out 1 time per week and he did that, I'm using my phone. I'm looking for my calculator. He did that because that's roughly $1,200 a month, right? So $1,200 if he took you out 1 time per week to a $300 restaurant, that's $1,200 a month. And when you think about that, let's just say if you dated him, let's do 10 months. So we'll do a rough number of, $10,000 for food. Are you kidding me? I can't even imagine it. And you guys, for those of you that follow me on a regular basis, you know that I'm a mother of boys. I can tell you right now, my sons won't be taking nobody on a $1,200 a month date. He's not at that caliber. And even if he were, the girl that he's going to need to choose is the one that would be happy to have the $12 date with him. She can eat Chick-fil-A and be just as happy and content. She can go to Zaxby's and get a $13 meal and be just as happy and content to be in his presence, to be with him. And then, even with things like that, you got to leave a tip. I remember, just in my process of dating, and I'm sorry, y'all. I know the water is loud, but I need to wipe this grill down. Um, in my dating process, one of the dates that we went on, now it was for Valentine's Day, but one of the dates that we went on, it was a restaurant that he chose. That's the difference now, ladies. If it's a restaurant that he chooses, that's different. If he says on the first date, you so fabulous, you so fine, you look so good, you this, you that, for him, that he wants to spend $300 on you, that is a difference from someone that asks you, where would you like to go? And you choose a high-end restaurant. I chose, with this young man, I chose that I gave him a list of restaurants we could go to. And they were some of the regular chains. I gave him Olive Garden, Red Lobster. I'm going down my head, the locations that are in that place. Olive Garden, Red Lobster, Longhorns, Chili's, Fridays. There are a couple of small little pubs right over in there, like a little jazz club. Bless you. A jazz club and a couple of other places. And I named those places, and he said, this is the difference. He said, no, that's not where we're going for your birthday. We're going to go to a different location. And then he proceeded to say to me, I just sent you something. We got a reservation for 8 o'clock. And the place where he told me to go, I knew of the spot. I had never been there, but I knew of that spot. And it was a steakhouse. And for Valentine's Day, he said, I want to take you somewhere. I said, I want to, when I went back to this spot, I've gone here a couple of times by myself, but I said, I want to take my person back. And he took me to a specific restaurant. It was another steakhouse, but he was a steakhouse kind of guy. He spent a lot of his time on the road. And because of that, when he came home, he said every now and then he'd like to go get a nice steak because he have to eat on the road so much. But it wasn't me that chose that space. It was him who chose it. So just in real conversation, guys, men, this is what I will say to you. And this is coming from someone that is interested in dating for real, not for someone that's just interested in you for your money. A woman that is interested in you, she don't care if y'all sitting on the side of the bridge with some tortilla chips and the homemade nachos that you guys got from the house. She does not care if y'all are sitting on the side of the bank and y'all got a frying pan with the fish that you just pulled out of the water. You're going to clean it and you're going to do it. She does not care about the ambiance of a room because her ambiance is going to be you. And the issue is many men, and this is what I told my friend, many men try to get a woman that they like. They like her physically. They like how she looks. They like how fine she is. And they then try to pull her into the place that they want her to be from a perspective of a woman that they would actually deal with. And that's not going to happen. And the frustration then comes in because he's physically attracted to her, but she's not attracted to him. The truth of the matter is she just wants to get that dinner and she don't care whether or not she see him again anyway. So he might have felt like he spent $300 on the dinner with her, and he probably should have saved that $300 for the woman that really likes him or would really like to be with him. Y'all, I'm sorry. I got to make a little noise here. I'm going to get ready to cook my eggs. So, sorry about that, y'all. I hate to make noise. But my point to you is, and this is where men and women have to look at themselves. You get what you putting out. If it's a woman that tells you that she needs you to take her to a restaurant that you know the meal is $300, you already know what she's giving. You already know. But you need to discuss that with her beforehand. Don't make an assumption that she's going to agree, because that's a purchase. It's a transaction. And nobody really wants to talk about that in this day and time. But that's exactly what you're doing. I didn't choose a restaurant that was going to cost a man an arm and a leg. And then the truth of the matter is, like, I'm really just not a big food person anyway. I don't eat a lot. If I eat anything and I'm going to eat a lot of it, it's what I'm cooking right now, breakfast. I love a good breakfast. I love a good breakfast bar. I love a good mimosa. I love those things. But as far as me eating a steak, I don't even eat seafood. That's just not even something that I'm interested in. And I'm more or less interested in him more than I am what he can purchase for me. And that's where so many people make their mistake. They don't vet people to see whether or not the person is interested in them. And when you go into relationships where you do not properly vet people, if you're only going off of what your eyes can see, I guess it's saddening to me because I know so many people, and even people that come into my inbox, the men that come onto my page and leave comments, the men that send me messages, the guys that I talk to at the barbershop, the men that I play pool with. There are so many good men out here. They're good men who would desire a good woman. And I can tell you, even the young man that I went to with dinner, one of the things he said, he was like, man, you are a good woman. We had some logistical differences. And I think if we could have seen past that, we probably would have been a good couple for each other because our core values align. But I just knew I wasn't going to be walking around my own house with no shoes on. And there's just no sense in me putting myself in that kind of stress when I know that that's not a lifestyle that I want to live. I got on house shoes right now. So, I didn't even want to frustrate him with that if he's someone that really likes, his house kept that way. And part of that, men, this is what you also need to look at. A portion of me not moving forward with him is that I actually like to please my man. And when you are a woman that really is into your man and you want to please him, I don't want to disappoint him. I don't want to bring about things that are going to make him upset. I don't want, because we're going to have enough of that anyway. So I don't want to create something that he's going to be upset and frustrated about, especially when I know it going in. So, when you really think about the relationships and what you really want, man, you have to look at the woman that's probably going to be the best woman for you. She probably ain't going to be real exciting. She ain't going to have no whole lot of excitement to bring to the table for you. Hey, bud, how are you coming? She's probably going to be a little bit more simpler in her life. The things that she wants and needs. Now, it doesn't mean that she's not going to want some things. I want a Gucci bag and I want a Louis Vuitton. And I believe that at some point, my husband and I, we will work out the conversation so that we can get it. But I was trying to look at the comments, y'all. But we would discuss that and we would talk about it and then we would plan for it. And we pick out what I wanted, and then I'm sure either he'll probably go get it or he will support me in going to get it. But what I'm saying to you is I'm not going to come out the box with the man that I meet or the man that I'm with. Because I remember I told y'all, I really feel like I've already met my husband. I just feel like he needed time to go grow up. He needed time to get himself together. He needed time to come out the craziness that the streets offer. And it's already happening. I mean, people that I already knew, they're coming back around. And the part of the reason is it's nothing out here in these dating streets. If you really want somebody that's sound and somebody that is solid, it's nothing out here. And that's on the men and the women's side. But, you can find a good man. Like one dude told me most recently, he said, well, you wouldn't have to pay no bills. You have all your bills taken care of. I just need you to be that feminine woman for me. So I wanted to read between the lines. See, at 56, you don't get to say that because in my mind, back in the day, the feminine woman for him was, being where he needed him to be. And then my brother with his crazy self, I don't say crazy loosely, but, my brother told me recently, the man only wants two things from a woman. If you can't give him that, then he don't want nothing else. But the truth of the matter is, men want more than that. They want that to be the main thing. But I can't tell y'all what my brother said. Cause he just is, yeah, he said it. So, guys, I want y'all to think about the decisions that you make when you are looking at the people that you are dating. If it's a woman that comes out the box and she's automatically wanting you to take her to some high-end restaurant, don't do that. Don't go. Because you're going to end up being frustrated in knowing that she's not going to give you what you're anticipating to get from that. And to be honest, it just doesn't make you any better of a person, knowing that basically you're just making a purchase. She's making an offer and you're making a purchase. And you have to be cautious of that because that's nothing but modern day prostitution, if the truth be told. In some ways, marriage is nothing but that as well. But to basically come into it with the idea that that's what you're going to be doing, or that's how she's going to live. And social media has pushed for such a platform that is so unrealistic. Like the average person don't even make enough money to go to those type restaurants on a regular basis. I don't care how much money that they making. If the truth of the matter be told, most people are living so far beyond their means right now. The average person does not even live within the category that they should be living in. And even with myself, there are some things that have pushed me into financial components that I didn't even want to be in. I had a paid for vehicle at one point, and I would still be driving that vehicle. But there was a need for me to get a car because my car was acting up. I didn't have a husband or somebody to guide me through and say, well, baby, we can patch on this, or we can fix this, or we can do that for another year or so. I had to purchase a car. And if the truth be told, I really wish I had a husband that could have said, this is the direction that we're going to go in. We can keep this car for another year. Because that was my preference. I wanted to keep the vehicle. But I had to make a decision. So I consulted with my brother. Hey, what you think? He said, pretty much based on the fact that it's just you. You got to make a decision that's going to be able to support you. You got to have transportation. You can't live where I live and not have transportation. Not unless you work a remote job. And even if you do, I live in the sticks. So, you can Uber down here, but it's going to be pretty costly to do so just because I live so far out. But I'm saying that to say that, ladies, I want you guys to be more cognizant of how you approach men if you want a long-term relationship. Now, if you're just looking for men to keep buying you something and you keep getting over, because eventually you're going to bleed through those guys too. That's the other thing. And then somebody made a comment to me, and I had never thought about this. One of my friends said, Marigney, one of the issues is there are not a lot of drug boys anymore. Back in the day, you had people selling drugs on the corner. That fast money was coming in and going out. You don't really have that anymore. And I had never thought about that. And, they were like, fast money guys are no longer existing. Now you just got the working class brothers. And I was like, wow, that's kind of deep, because I never thought about the fact that there was fast moving money. So yes, the fast moving money guy could supply those types of things. He could give those types of gifts. But a regular working class dude is not going to be able to do that. So you guys, I just want y'all to give some thought to how we add to and take away from each other. You know, what are you doing, women, to perpetuate to men that all we are is a commodity? And men, what are you doing to continue to let women think that it's okay for them to operate as that? Women, we are the gatekeepers. It is our duty to make sure that we keep the gates of the household. It's our duty to make sure that we maintain a standard. Men are only going to do what you let them do. Yeah. And even with the ones that deal with me, they get mad. And they go away for a month, 2 months, 3 months. And at some point, they eventually cycle back, unless they get married. But I'm going to get those, what you doing texts, how you been? And like I said, most of the people in my phone, I've tried to delete them. So if their number is still there, it's just because I just hadn't gotten to that section of my phone. But for the most part, ladies, stop making it where it's difficult for men to understand what the standard is. Going to a dinner is not a standard. A standard is a man that can consistently pay his monthly mortgage, or a man that can consistently pay his monthly rent. A standard is, if you have a flat tire, he says to you, hey, I can't get to you right now, but get it to the shop and call me when you get there and let me know how much the tire is. Standard is a man that says, hey, you got a ticket. Once they upload it, let me know how much that costs. I'm going to see what we can do. Let's talk about it. In other words, he's probably not going to be a guy that's taking you out to no fancy dancy dinners. In most cases, he's not. Just because a working class man is doing just that. He's working. So he don't have time, really, most times, to even be going out to dinners like that. So it kind of just makes you wonder, what are people really looking for? What are people really desiring? Sorry, I was trying to turn that down, y'all. But I really just wanted to come on for a moment, because I kind of feel like a mama right now. I feel like in the earth, we are missing the moment that God could do some beautiful things for some beautiful people. And if we keep doing what we've always done, we're going to keep getting the results that we've always gotten. So that means that we have to do something different in order to show up differently. And I'm just hopeful that there is a unit of people that are going to do something different. I'm hopeful that there's a unit of people that are going to be resistant of the norms that have now become a part of everybody's household expectations. And I do think it's more difficult to walk that path. As I shared with someone, and I'm going to end with this. One of the guys that I know, just a general friend, he is someone that had an interest in me. He said something to me, and he said, you are a wife. He said, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to tell you the truth. Most men are going to shy away from you because they know when they meet you that you are not girlfriend material. And if they come to you, they know that they're going to have to step up to a different plate. Your expectations are going to be different. The way you treat them is going to be different. The way that you're going to be expected to be treated is going to be different. And, I thanked him because sometimes it's a very lonely place to walk in a space where You really want to be honorable to someone, and you want someone that can be honorable to you. And it can be difficult when you are trying to live a life that's godly, and you're trying to live upright, and you are trying to treat people the way that you want to be treated. This world can make you feel like you want to start treating people like they treat you versus you treat them the way you want to be treated. And that's where maturity comes in. It's a different type of woman that can look at every man and say, I'm going to give him the same opportunity that I gave anybody else. And he only has to make his decision as to how that's going to be. It's a different type of man that says, I'm going to give this woman the same opportunity that I gave everybody else that came before her. And I'm going to let her make her own mistakes or her own errors. And to be honest with you, most people are not going to make them. If they're real, if they're seriously trying to walk it out, because they're going to be intentional with trying to make sure that that person knows that they don't want to hurt them. They don't want to do something negative towards them. But if it's people that just really don't care and they got their own self motives in place, then they're going to deal with it a little bit differently. All right, y'all. We've been on here 30 minutes. I don't know whether or not. I do see some comments. How y'all doing? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yes, it is difficult walking upright for God, but it's not hard. It's not, I won't say it's not hard because I just said it's difficult. It's not unreasonable. I'll say that. So it may be difficult, but I'm very secure in that, and I believe that God will actually give me exactly what my heart desires. And when you believe that, then you have to stand on it. Somebody said, "Why you in there? You might as well." Oh Lord. Okay, might as well make a banana pudding. I just might do that. But you guys, I just want to say I have enjoyed chatting with you. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and just remember that this is not a season to give up. I think this is a season to dig in. This is a season to just remember who you are, your values, your core components. And that's something that I've really been talking to my boys about. You know, hey, bud, I'm on a video. But one of the things, even as my son, he's getting ready to go off to college, and I'm having to have hard conversations with him. He's going to land on a campus where I was telling him, I said, boy, when you walk across this campus, I think the numbers are like 1 to 25, one male to every 25 girls. And so, son, how are you going to handle that? Like, I want him to be thinking about that before he lands on that campus, because if he gets there and he hasn't thought it through, then he will deal with some of the same things that we just talked about. Young ladies that are going to be expecting for him to put something in place that it's going to be unreasonable. And I just think that we are in a season where we have to look at what people are desiring, how we are going to move forward in those things, and then how can we maintain our own level of integrity throughout that process. So I was looking at the other comments, guys. Again, thank you all so much. I still haven't figured out how to see the comments after I post it. Once I upload it, I can't see the comments. So if you guys don't come back and actually put one out here, it doesn't show up on the actual live. But I thank you all for joining, and I'll keep that in mind. If you ever come to the ATL, you let me know, and then we'll get you a banana pudding made. Let me know how you like it, whether you like the hot banana pudding or the cold banana pudding. That's one good thing about me. I'm that kind of friend. So I hope y'all have a good day. Just remember, keep me in prayer about my tooth. So you may not see me online for a moment just because my mouth is giving me a little bit of pain. And once I get through that process, then I'll be back. All right. Bye, y'all.